just got off my live stream and we had a really good conversation. It was talking about being sober. Now, I got sober from drinking alcohol in 2024, in August of 2024. Well, I wasn't technically what you would call an addict. It did not mean that I did not have a problem with drinking alcohol. I would be good at drinking, like good at drinking. See, that in itself could say that I probably shouldn't have been. So it would only last for up to a month, a couple months, and I would always find myself in the same position that I always would. I would go on a crazy drinking bender where I lost my limits and I would black out. In those blackouts, I couldn't tell you what I did. I was not all there. Crazy, because it would be like, people would be like, I can't even tell that you are drunk. Then it would be, oh my gosh, you were out of this world. You think one day you just wake up and you're like, I'm not gonna drink anymore. I would wake up and say I'm not gonna drink, and that lasted for years. It took me about, I want to say, gosh, 4 years of me going through the same, I'm not gonna drink anymore, I'm gonna drink less, I'm only gonna drink White Claws, I'm not gonna drink hard alcohol, and the result would always end up being the same. I had a video, I told you a video in a previous video of like why I got, or like kind of how I got sober. I said something happened that was a really big wake-up call. Well, that big wake-up call was I threw up in my sleep, and it wasn't just throw up, like I threw up all over myself from head to toe. I was covered, and that is so dangerous. I could have died. I could have choked on my vomit, and that was the pivotal point. That was the defining moment where I was like, I cannot do this. But it was not the last time that I drank. Another time I drank at a wedding, and then the last time I drank, the final drink that I had, I was at lunch. I had a mimosa, and I was wanting to have another one, and in that moment I said, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot put myself through this anymore. Not put myself through the insane anxiety that I had. Could not put myself through the shame that I felt, a sickness. I would get sick after almost every time after I drank too. It was like I was punishing my body, myself, and I feel like that defining moment that I had was, that should have been the end. But after that, it was 2 times after that, and I said no. ASMR has really saved me. Starting ASMR, I would watch ASMR on those times where I was bedridden from anxiety, sickness, just being absolutely hungover, and that really saved me. It helped me, and I want to be able to help people too. And I find so much purpose in ASMR that I feel like drinking would not ruin it, but I wouldn't feel right. I wouldn't feel right about it. Also too, don't get down on yourself if you feel like you want to stop drinking, or even if you say you're going to stop drinking and then you continue to drink and you continue that cycle. Like I said, it took me 4.5 years of me saying I'm going to stop drinking. And don't get me wrong, in between those 4 years, I would take months off. I would say I'm not drinking this month. I would do dry January, so I felt like do those to prove to myself that I didn't have a problem. But I did, and a lot of those times, the reasons why I even started drinking to begin with was because I feel like in my heart, and knowing myself, is I am a little bit socially awkward, and while I am friendly, I am what you call like an ambivert. I like to feel out the vibe this earth. We're all figuring ourselves out, but I can't change the past. Do I wish I didn't drink? I do wish there's a lot of times where I wish I didn't, because I feel sad for my younger self. I wish that I just was effortlessly myself and didn't feel the need to fit in, but that is a reality. I wanted to fit in, and there's times where I still do want to fit in, but not at the expense. Now I feel like I'm not willing to drink and lower and know, like, after knowing how much it doesn't serve me to fit into spaces. So I now just am working on being more solidified in myself. I'm very thankful for my friends and my family. They're very, very supportive of me not drinking, and you know, they're my lifelong friends, and I'm so thankful for them. I'm thankful for my family. I'm sure they're thankful that I don't drink either. If you are ever sober curious, if you ever are wanting to take that path, don't give up. Also too, if you feel like you're too far gone, you are not. We all make mistakes. I am nowhere near perfect. I am the least perfect human that there is, and I still beat myself up over stuff. I still deal with shame. None of that will ever pull me back to that version of myself, or at least I hope not. You never know where you will find yourself, but I hope that I can give myself grace, and I hope that you could give yourself grace too. If you ever have any questions, or if you're ever wanting to become sober, my DMs, my comments are always open, and feel free to ask me any questions, and I'd